In today's video, I'm going to be looking at providing tips on how you can get the best out of your photographic trips. I'm assuming that you're travelling with someone who is empathetic to your photographic whims, or that you're travelling solo. My first tip is to do your research, find out what your non-negotiables are, and perhaps base yourself around those areas. Now, often these might be the iconic locations, the ones you've seen online or in magazines, and you really want to capture them for yourself. But for goodness sake, please do remember that you're only going to be there for 1 or 2 days, and actually the conditions may not be right, and that may lead to disappointing results in your eyes.
Hello and welcome to one of the poster views of Slovenia. Please forgive the tired face, it was a long old journey yesterday. Now I'm out here to shoot 2 things primarily. Autumn colour and water. Fast moving water if possible, because you know that's what floats my boat. But if I can get the 2 together, which I think I should be able to later on in the week, that would be fantastic. Meanwhile, for now, I've got to try and sort out how I get the most of the colour. Today I've got no sun, tomorrow I should have a little bit. So I've adjusted my white balance and we will be going from there.
Tip 2. If it's that important, try to allow yourself more than one chance.
The benefit of staying in a place is that you get to see mornings like this. Think about yesterday and the photos I've already put up. Then have a look at this. This is one of those times when you've wanted to shoot a location for a long time and some bloke comes along and parks their car right in the middle of the shot. Horror.
So the other photographer forced me to look for other compositions. That's okay. By the time I got to shoot the reason I was there, well, let's just say the colour had gone and it wasn't what I was hoping it to be. That's all. I think one of my biggest tips is don't ever underestimate the travel time, particularly if you've got places that you want to visit on the way to your final destination. When I checked the journey time from the comfort of my own home in the UK, A to B was going to take me on a non-congested route 3.5 hours, but that didn't take account of mountains, weekend traffic or any diversions, let alone a photo stop. In the end, it took 5.5 hours. And that meant we didn't really have time to explore anywhere en route. So just bear in mind, things do take longer than you anticipate.
Good morning and welcome to a day where I'm going to be photographing as much moving water as possible in quite a few locations. I'm quite excited. And a mountain. I've got a cat near me as well. Hello, Angel. Should we go and show people around?
Now, this mountain pass was the one that we came over yesterday, and today I was hoping to make my way wending down this valley so that I could photograph the Socha River, which is gorgeous and very, very clear. And the idea was that as afternoon went through, I was going to climb way up into the mountains to the Mangart Pass bordering Italy and get some cracking shots as the sun went down. And this brings me to point 4, wet weather options. Have them.
Now this is the Socha River in the rain. It's incredibly clear, as you can see. And one thing I'd like to say is please don't ever underestimate how cold this water is. Having kayaked it 2 or 3 times, it's a bit parky. We're hopefully going down river to a place where it is a gorge and it's about 2 meters wide. So hopefully we should get some real strength there, but it's absolutely kicking it down with rain. And I have left my waterproof stuff back at the ranch. Idiot. We've just returned to get the sensible wet weather gear. Plastic trousers, umbrella, not for the hair, but to protect the camera, and the absolute essential shower caps. Buy them in bulk. Stick them over the end of your lens. It's going to save you a lot of heartache. Much as I like those four colours up there, what I'm quite liking a lot is how the water comes through this particular bend here. I've currently got f16 and I've included the top waterfall just in the background. Half a second, full polarisation. There's a lot of glare on these rocks because it is, after all, raining.
Now you'll note at this stage I have a sense of humour. I'm quite excited. I must admit, about 6 hours later, it was lacking. I was wet, I'd gone through every towel trying to keep everything dry, and every lens had fogged up, at least twice.
Clearly, once you've got yourself rather drenched, leave your bag open so it has a chance to dry out before you get to your next destination. Take everything apart and let it dry out. You're such a child. Well, this is spectacular, but how the hell I'm going to get down here with so much wet rock?
I think the answer was simple. I wasn't going to. Simple. If I fell in there, I probably wasn't going to walk out alive. Or at least if I was, it's going with a big old bang to the head. So my tip 5 is this. Assess and walk away if you need to. After all, you've got the rest of your holiday to look forward to.
Well, it's been a funny old day. Every single time I've got the camera out, it has thrown it down with rain, as you can probably see by the attractive hairdo. The only thing I've been able to put on there is a polariser, and even then that's fogged up and fogged up and fogged up. I've got through every one of my damp cloths. Funny old day. I'm not sure I've captured the moving water like I wanted to. I think I just got transfixed with a turquoise.
Having taken about 200 photos in that last setting, I probably have 4 that I think are acceptable. The others are just misted up or have misfocused due to misting. My God, it was wet. But on the way back down to our next destination, we found a couple of gems.
Now, this should be fairly straightforward. As you can see behind me here, I have got a symmetrical composition. I've got some lovely clouds that are being reflected in the water here as well, and I actually have a lovely mountain reflection. Those silver birches stroke larches, if they were lit up, would really make it brilliant. Now originally I started off with just a polariser on, but there's a slight movement in the water, so I've gone for a little stopper just so I can iron out any of those little issues here. This is what I wanted the other day when I could see nothing. This makes me happy. Autumnal colour. Ha!
This is the first time I've ever noticed that I have something that I'm going to call shot fatigue. I think I'd shot an awful lot of moving water, and I just was losing my creativity. I was sloppy, making mistakes, and it showed.
So the gorge, as you can see, has got walkways. They can be a bit slippy, if I'm honest, at this time of year, partly because of the leaves and partly because of the wet. But autumn really does afford some lovely contrasting colour. Again, polariser, varying speeds, just having a play really, but it's just such a nice little place to be. Why is it that the best shots are always involving me getting very wet? Ah!
Now this was what I was here for. I'd been here on a course a few years beforehand and captured a shot that I loved, but I wanted to do one of my own, getting a very different feel. You'll see both of them here now. Quite a different shot. I think the solution to my problem was just have a day off, to stop, to be a tourist. So my point 7 is build in some time away from behind your camera. See things with your own eyes and not through a lens. You can just hit that refresh button if it's needed.
So although we've been to Bled 4 times, we've never actually walked around the lake until now. It's a 6-kilometre round trip. If you start off at the town end, you can end up at the town end. I know that sounds obvious, but there will be a beer waiting for you at some hostelry there. Very pretty. There are times when you are walking along the road, which isn't so great, and other times where, like this, you are away from everything, walking through trees and just appreciating the fishermen.
After a day doing not a lot, we travelled very early in the morning to St Thomas's Church, which you can just see in the background now. It's been a destination I've wanted to visit for ages, along with many, many other photographers. That was a shocker, but it was beautiful. After a very chaotic drive from Lake Bled to this destination involving multiple diversions, we eventually arrived just in time to catch the last of the morning pinks. One shot, that's all I got, and then the mist swirled in and overtook that church. We spent a glorious couple of hours just standing, watching, shooting whenever we could, whenever that church just appeared just above the mist. Oh, that was truly special. My final point today is to think about looking beyond the obvious. If conditions aren't right, look elsewhere. Turn around. See other vignettes, those little moments. Never know, they may be even more special than what you thought you were going to get. So there you have it, my top 8 tips for organising a trip and getting photographic success. Of course, there are other options. You could always go with an organised trip with a professional who takes all of this stress off your shoulders. Whatever you do, enjoy your travels, enjoy exploring, and I'd love to hear what you would add to my list in your experiences. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time.